Now I want to do the hair. So with the hair, you need to erase the top of the head. And what I would do at this point is I would take a black marker and trace all of my pencil lines. And probably a Sharpie is going to be best. If you have real small details, you might want to get a smaller marker. For me, ask for a skinnier marker. But a Sharpie should do the job for you, okay? So you want to carefully trace these lines. Okay, and then I want you to go back with your eraser and erase any pencil lines that might be poking out. So now you want to do the hair. Now, we don't want to start the hair right at the tippy top of the head because then it'll look like our hairline does not start at the very top of our head. It comes down a little bit, and you don't want it too close to the eyebrows because then you don't have a forehead. So you kind of want to find maybe just maybe a finger's width in from the top of the head. I can still see my top of the head line where I erased. So maybe about a finger's width in, and you're going to choose different kinds of lines, probably solid lines, not broken or dotted lines, but if you have your heart set on those, you can do those. And you're just going to start with one line kind of inside the hairline, and you're just going to draw that going off your paper. And then I want you to do at least 4 or 5 in a row. So you're going to draw another one right next to it, parallel. So it doesn't get closer or farther away from the line. It stays right next to the line, nice and parallel. And I'm doing this in marker. If you think you're going to make a mistake and be unhappy with what you do, then you need to do it in pencil first so that you can erase any mistakes you have. So I want big chunks, 4 or 5 lines. This is only 3, so I need to do at least one more. And now I'm going to do a different line. And to make some interest and some contrast, I'm going to have it go behind this line. So I'm going to do a zigzag line and pick up stop when I get to that chunk, pick it back up, and run it off the paper. Alright, and I want 4 or 5, so that's only 2. I need to do a couple more. Okay, so that's 4. Maybe this one I do 5, just to change it up a little bit. Okay, and so then I will continue doing chunks of lines all the way down to the ears, going off the paper here, maybe going back, maybe I do a chunk that swoops back and crosses over this direction, and same all the way over here. Now I started about a finger's width in from the top of the head. As I move towards the ear, it's not going to stay a finger's width because then I would end up having hair growing out of the eyebrows, and that would just look silly. So gradually these lines are going to move out away from the inside of the head. And then this finished example here, I just kind of went straight across. That's okay, but I prefer to see more of a curve and a change. So for here, I would start right by the ear and make that chunk of hair go off the paper. Nice and parallel. And then I would finish that again over on this side. So until the area is full. So I might even want to put some lines here that go behind and they follow so that this is nice and full. We don't want any big gaps in the hair. Okay, so let me jump to the facial hair. So when you do facial hair, you're going to leave the top bald, and then the facial hair grows between the nose and the lips. And you're going to start, so you're going to need to erase your chin. And I start at the bottom of the ears and erase that, and then I go back and add what I need to add if the facial hair doesn't cover it up. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to just draw one kind of line that comes down and fills my paper. And we're going to do chunks again, 4 or 5 lines next to each other. You should start with this mustache part. So I've got 3 lines there, and that kind of fills up that space. So I'm going to do some lines over here. Alright, and it looks like, again, 3 lines is going to fill up that area. So now I finish filling in the chin area. So maybe over here I do a bumpy line. And I'd like to see some crossover. So maybe over here I add some that cross over and go behind. I really want you to fill up this area. So if you see, probably one more chunk would be enough to fill up the face, but this area isn't filled in. So you're going to have to add some just kind of mixed in. So this isn't really touching the face, the start of these lines, but I've got to get something to fill in this space. So when I run into the other line, I stop. Please make sure you use a marker that works. This marker is starting to fade, so throw it out and get a new one. Don't use any that start to die on you. So if you look here, this is still a lot of open space, so I need to add some more in here. Maybe I don't add any here, but I could add some more in here crossing over to fill in that area. And I also didn't outline the face in permanent marker, so you're going to need to outline your face with permanent marker too, like I did on this one. I just skipped that step to get straight to the facial hair. That's how you work on your crazy hair portrait until you fill in most of the space there, or if you're doing the facial hair, most of the space down here. Good job, 4th grade.